Hello, as you can see, I just came back home and I just washed my hair, so my hair is kind of wet. But I thought I'm going to come here and talk to you a little bit about my Medjugorje experience, my experience there, my thoughts about Medjugorje, about the apparitions, about a few things that I have personally experienced. So, first of all, one of the crazy moments that I did have on my trip, where when we went on the apparition site on the hill, and it was very meditative. I loved it. I sat there and just meditated. It was very beautiful. It was very quiet. It was encouraged to keep silence on the apparition hill. On the cross hill, there were people singing, and it was a lot more lively, and it was more quiet on the apparition hill, on the apparition side. But when we were coming down from the apparition side, we heard ambulance sirens coming. And we never heard ambulance sirens in Bosnia, so we were really interested. Oh, this is how it sounds like, because in every country, ambulances sound a little bit different. We came right almost to the bottom, and we looked across, and there was a person laying on the ground, and six people surrounding that person and trying to do first aid, so to reanimate the person. They were doing the breathing, the pumping of the chest, and trying to get the person to come back to life, basically. And immediately I drew to the side and prayed for that person, because a person that is dying is really struggling, and we need to support each other. So if you see somebody fall and die, or being afraid of, death coming, and there's a chance that they might live, pray for them. If they die, that they enter a death more easily, because it's a scary and heartbreaking thing. And I don't know how that person was prepared. I mean, I think it's a unique thing if you go on a pilgrimage and you actually die. Like, it's perfect if you have done confession and you went to Mass, had the Holy Eucharist, and had your mind on Christ before you died. But we don't know that. So you don't know what happened to that person. And so it touched me. And, right after we drank a coffee, I calmed down, because there was emotional turmoil, seeing that even from afar. And I thought I would, never know what happened to that person. Because, I don't know the people. I don't know many people in Medjugorje. I'm not by the hospital or anything. And I'm sure this was God wanting me to hear this, because a few days later, when I took a trip to a Kravic waterfall, we talked to the taxi driver, and he was telling us that, yes, he heard there was a person that actually died. And he told me the story, what happened. So the person, it was a lady, she tripped and hit her head right here on a sharp rock. And you've seen the video, how sharp these rocks are going up on the apparition side. So she hit her head really hard, and they tried to reanimate her, and she died. She actually died. So that was a pretty crazy moment that I experienced right at the apparition side. And the other experience, or greater experience, that I didn't share in the other videos, was that I was deeply praying. It was one of the rainy mornings, more closer to the end of my trip. And I was really praying in church during Mass that I want to have an experience. I want to experience Christ. I want to have direction and leadership. And I really felt desperate in the, I haven't had an experience, a heartfelt experience from God there yet. I mean, it was peaceful and it was a blessing, and each day was a blessing, but I was seeking for more. And it actually came to me in such an surprising way that I couldn't have ever guessed it would happen that way. So, no, I didn't see the apparition or a sun miracle, as has been said, or my silver rosary wasn't turned into a metal that looked like gold or anything like that. There's things that happened like that, supposedly. People were telling about that. But I still had an extraordinary experience. So on that rainy day, we went souvenir shopping and decided to go back to the hotel, maybe to take a little rest. But halfway to the hotel, I was thinking, no, I actually don't need to rest. I need to go back to that bookstore. I saw a big bookstore and I actually wanted to stroll around. So I turned around and went back. Went by the church, actually took a video of some dogs playing. And I really thought, wow, I haven't seen any really dogs playing and stuff. I really need to be here. I really felt that. And so I strolled around a little bit more and went back to the bookstore. And at the bookstore, I knew that I wanted to pick up maybe one book, two books, maybe three little ones. I couldn't carry more in my suitcase, or, I had the budget to buy like a whole stack of books, would be too heavy. But I wanted to buy one or two books. So I really carefully wanted to look around. And in Germany, you don't go into a store and have a good selection of Christian books. So I was really excited. It was a big section, so I wanted to take my time to look through all the books so I could decide which precious book would be the right one for me to take. So I looked through all the books, I think about 25 minutes. Look at the back, look at the inside, put it back, look at something else. I just wanted to get an overview before I decided what to take. And I actually had a really tough time deciding which book would be the best. I didn't notice anybody coming into the bookstore, but all of a sudden there was this really small lady beside me. And I actually, she looked like Mother Teresa, honestly. And she was as small as Mother Teresa too. I think she only went up to my chest. She was that little. Like, I'm not a tall person, but I actually had to look down to look at her. And so she came beside me and she said, "That book up there." And I thought, okay, you can't reach it, so I'm just going to come get it for you. So I reached up and got the book down, and she said, no. That book is for you. That's the book you need to take. And I was really surprised because she just came into the store. She would know that I was actually struggling picking a book. So I took the book and I thought, wow, that's good direction. And then she went on, and you need to take this one. And actually I spent 2 hours in that bookstore. She was a lady from Romania, an old English teacher. She was an elderly lady. It came later I got to know that she was really known in that bookstore. So she had like a book account, and, she was like, put this on my account. I pay in the evening later when I come back. So she was really well known there. She actually, we were talking for 2 hours, and she answered questions that I had that she could have never possibly known that I did have, that I had for Jesus, that I had for God, that I had for direction for my life. She gave me totally directions. I ended up with buying actually 8 books myself, and they were all affordable. They were all in my budget, and she just kept on, okay, you need to take this one and this one and this one. And then she, because I said, well, whoa, I can't like afford even more now. She bought me 3 more books that she thought I really, really need to have. And as I say, she took 2 hours of her time to give me directions, answer questions that she could have never possibly known that I had in my heart. And I took this seriously. I told her that I was asking for direction, and she said, well, you know, I was just in church and I thought I need to go back to the bookstore. And that's where she found me, and she felt like she needed to talk to me. So this is how God works as well. And she, as I say, she looked like Mother Teresa, and I love Mother Teresa. I so love. And I think I trustingly opened up to her as well because she looked like Mother Teresa. Yeah, I will never, ever forget this elderly lady from Romania that told me amazing testimonies about herself, about her life, answered questions, gave me directions, gave me helpful tips. So I got my sign. I did get my answers in a total different way than I thought it would maybe go. But it was such a safe place for me, because I don't know how I would reacted if I've seen an apparition or sight or a miracle. This was very concrete. I wanted concrete answers. This was as concrete as one can get. And you know, it was a rainy day, so I didn't have anywhere to go. It just happened that you know, I was there. So I was really blessed by this. So I believe that in Medjugorje, it's a very special place. It's a very unique place. People are really truly seeking from the bottom of their heart. They're seeking God. You know, I've seen, you've seen the pathway up to the cross mountain. It's not an easy walk, but I've seen elderly people, disabled people, people that couldn't walk go up the mountain. And I was really amazed because I had a hard time going up. I can't imagine even them going up, but they're so strongly believing in receiving help that they took that on them. And I've seen barefoot people walking up, doing penance by walking barefoot. I've seen many amazing people there. The church in Germany is very empty. You see 5 elderly people on a good Sunday sitting there, and that's it. It's really depressing. A lot of the priests have fallen off their faith. But in Medjugorje, when you went to the German Mass, I can only talk about the German Mass and the evening Mass and the International Mass where I went to. But the German Mass, the International too, but the German Mass, it was packed. If you didn't come 25 minutes early, you wouldn't even get a seat. It was that crowded. People were standing in the back. It was full of life. It was light. The people, the priest, and there were pilgrimage priests coming in. Every day was a different priest giving preaching and stuff. And it was heartfelt. They believed. It was so hopeful. It was so charismatic and lively that the church, the German church, is not dead. It's still alive. There's people still believing. And this was such a hopeful sign for me as well. Such an encouragement, because we do have so much spiritual desert here in Germany, experiencing here in Germany. But it was so lively in Medjugorje that surely I will never forget that as well. So what do I think about the apparitions? I haven't seen an apparition. I know it's a very special place. I don't know if it's because the mother truly appears. I cannot, the church is not doing a judgment yet because the apparitions are ongoing. I haven't been there when the next apparition basically took place. But I know it is a very good spiritual place. I personally believe, yes, there was or is ongoing apparitions. I'm pretty sure God is working great miracles and pouring out graces there. Though I have to say that I have been warned by the my little Mother Teresa, I can say, from Romania, that there is a sect there that is very eloquent in teaching and very eloquent in going around and looking for pilgrims that especially are on their own by themselves. And they're inviting them to a certain restaurant for coffee, for a drink, taking them on the apparition hill and all these things. And that's actually a satanic sect. They're using a mind, like the evil eye, to persuade people to do things that are not appropriate. Husbands leaving their wife and staying there. This is only what I heard. I haven't seen anything. And she was even talking about some people, they even look like they're monks or nuns. They have like, you know, a clothing of a nun or monk, but they don't have the head covering like a nun. I've seen people like that there. I thought, wow, they look like Amish, maybe Amish people, but I never got encountered or talked to anybody like that, so I don't know. So, you know, where there is great good, there's also great evil working against it. I mean, even Jesus in the midst had a traitor. Till the end, he was with Jesus and experiencing the great miracles and the things that Jesus offered. Satan was not far, away from Jesus, and people, even though they saw and encountered Jesus himself, didn't want anything to do with him. So, you know, where there's great good, there's also great evil working. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are attacks like that, but you cannot judge by that. You know, the great experience and the great miracles that do happen there, the great experience. So I do recommend very, very much to experience Medjugorje in Bosnia. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. Ask God for a sign that you understand, for direction. I didn't think it would happen for me, but it did. So I think it's genuinely a good place to visit and go to. So with this, I'm going to leave you. I hope this was helpful for you. It's just my personal opinion. God bless you. And hopefully you enjoyed my travel vlog and also this video for my experience in Medjugorje.